Have you ever known that you were made for more, but you just didn't know how to get there or how to overcome the things holding yourself back? Well, friends, we have a very special podcast episode. I'm bringing on Terri Johnson. Terri attended our 3-day in-person retreat in Phoenix, Arizona last week. It was called the Phoenix Journey. And she went on the most epic of journeys to be able to transform. And I'm here to share her experience and be able to share it with you. So Terri, welcome.
Hi.
So friend, let's back up for a second. And when you were coming to this event, I didn't tell you much what it was going to be about. So what was in your mind? Like, what were you hoping to get out of it? And obviously it's about the Phoenix journey and, transforming your mind and overcoming your fears and helping you to live in your purpose. But like, beyond that, like, what did you really expect? Like, what were you thinking about this event before you came?
I trusted that you were going to guide us in the right direction because you always do. And I just knew that once I got there, I was going to get everything that I needed. But honestly, I couldn't have imagined what I saw and the emotions that I feel. The fact that you started to announce me, it started to bring back the flood of tears that I felt. And typically when you think of tears, you think of sadness, but these are extremely happy tears because, oh goodness, because I have come from a place of healing and I'm continuing on that journey. And with the Phoenix fuel, my body just feels so much better. And I came back home I was in enemy territory this morning. I was in a grocery store. So I was afraid. I said, oh my goodness. I saw all of the unhealthy foods and I stared past them. Tonight, I ate some broccoli and some baked chicken. I love my fried chicken, y'all, but I had some chicken and, I was easy on the butter. I was so proud of myself.
Yeah.
And, it's because of how my body felt for those 3 days that it made me not want to go back to the time where I couldn't really think, the time where I was really, really tired and my body just didn't function the way I wanted it to.
Yeah. That brain fog, right? I mean, it just lights out. Would you agree?
Oh yeah. It's real.
Yeah. So, and I love that you brought up like the Phoenix fuel because I didn't even know that you were like really going to be doing that. I mean, it's something that I taught, which was, I just put something out there. It's like, hey guys, this is what I've done. It doesn't need to be what you do, but this is just something personally that I've done and it's helping me, and feel free to test it out. And I'm never going to tell anybody how to eat. I'll just say, hey, this is working for me. And I would love for you to see what your thoughts are. Consider the foods that you're eating and how they make you feel. Like, that's all. Like, just entertain the possibility that perhaps the foods I'm eating might not be fueling my body and my brain correctly. And they might actually be feeding my fear and starving my faith. And so I said, like, hey, the foods that I personally am just really thriving on right now are things like meat and fruits and veggies. Like, I'm just really like, my brain is just alive with those, it's cutting out no sugar, no dairy, no gluten, and no grains. And I was like, that's just me. But it would be interesting. Like, I just wonder, what it might do for you. So I know that when you were there, we had dinners catered by Sapiens Kitchen, which was completely paleo, which follows that same kind of Phoenix fuel philosophy. And so when you were eating those, I mean, agreed, like back like 3 weeks ago, I was like, like I like me some pastries, when you were eating the foods though, what did you think?
Those brownies were some of the best brownies I've ever had. They tasted so good. And the fact that they were healthy, it made you feel good to eat it.
Right.
The food was really good though.
Yeah. It was funny. I was like, other people were saying like, I didn't even expect that I would like this food, but dang, like, it's really good. Like, I'm really loving this.
Yeah.
Not just salads and stuff. So, and I even remember somebody else was commenting, she's like, never have I ever gone on a 5-day trip and lost and not gain weight. She said, and not gained weight. Right. She said, actually, I lost 3 pounds because the food was so good. And we've been eating cookies and brownies every night.
Yeah, exactly. So we didn't feel like we lost out on anything. And even this morning, I cut back on the caffeine. I cut back on the dairy. So it was a good journey because it actually taught me that I can still enjoy the things that I want to, but I don't have to binge on them. Yeah. And I can still have things that feel good for my body.
Yeah. and make your brain operate, right?
Yes.
And I like the word crowding out. So like when you add those things, like you said, like, your baked chicken and your veggies, like it's crowding out other choices and fueling your body with like a lot of good stuff. And therefore, like, let's not worry about restriction right now. Let's just worry about like crowding out the other choices and just feed ourselves. I love this. Okay. So we talked about that, but what were some of the things mentally that you were struggling with before the Phoenix journey?
I was really dealing with imposter syndrome really big time.
Mm-hmm.
When I came into your world a year ago, I was able to take what you applied. Well, I was able to learn and apply what you taught me really fast. And I didn't expect to, to have those quick wins, I would like to say. I got a student within 24 hours. I was able to make money in my other business, and then it stopped. I still had that one student from June to January.
Yeah.
Then my sensory bin business, it dwindled. So it went from like almost like $1,000 a month to like maybe $200 a month.
Yeah.
Now, and the sensory bin business was my significant form of income at the time. So I was like, okay, what am I going to do? And I kept, trying to be a scientist and trial things out. And I got to be to the point where I'm like wanting to pull my hair out because I don't know, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? Like, oh my goodness. And I realized last month that I'm, everyone is always telling me, I see your videos everywhere. I love your videos. You teach well and you're so funny and all of that. But it wasn't, my techniques that were off. It was definitely my mindset that was off. I truly didn't feel that I was worthy of success. I didn't feel that I could do it.
Yeah.
Even though I had all of the evidence that I could, I didn't feel internally that I could. And I started doing a lot of meditation and not just listening to positive books, but also applying what I learned.
Yes.
And when I got to the retreat, I was able to continue that. And that's why I'm just like overcome, because I didn't expect to uncover more truths about myself that were hidden, because your brain rationalizes really well and is able to tell yourself, oh, it's okay for you not to pass out those flyers today. It's okay for you to eat whatever you want. You can talk yourself into doing things that are not good for you. But it's when you learn, and one of the frameworks Joy taught us how to identify our needs and how to get those needs met by creating power habits. And I was able to identify why I was doing the things that I was doing. So not only was I able to identify it, but I was able to rectify at least a few of those that I was able to identify with positive habits. So instead of going to my comfort foods, I can go for a walk. I can play with my boys. And that's exactly what I did this afternoon when I got back. I went on my screen porch in the sun and I played games. So I didn't have to go back to, secretly eating my cookies and being upset. So it was definitely good, because I took what I learned and I'm already living it.
Oh, that's amazing. In just 3 days, took what you learned and are already living it. So Terri, with the knowledge that you've gained, tell me about what your future looks like now. What is possible now for you?
Oh my goodness. I am thrilled. I am totally, totally thrilled in a way that I never thought was possible. I know that I am worthy, and I would say my sisters, but I met my family. I truly, truly did. I never been in a place where I had never laid eyes on these people except on a screen, and I felt like I had known them for years. And they cared about me. They supported me. They pushed me, almost to the point where I wanted to, why are you saying this to me? But they, showed that they cared. We laughed, we cried, we danced. We had a good time, y'all. We had a good time.
That's awesome. And so if anybody was, having these struggles of like, man, imposter syndrome and really stuck in just like, not fueling their body the way that they should, because they're meeting the needs, honestly, in unhealthy ways. They just don't know yet how to do it any other way. What would you say to them to go on this Phoenix journey?
One thing I learned is that you are the reason why your business isn't going well. And the youth that I'm talking about is up here.
Yeah.
You can have access to the best, and we have access to all of your knowledge, all of the years that you were a scientist and trial and error, but it doesn't mean anything unless you have your mind working and unless your body feels good and you're fueling it with the right things.
Yes.
So with your mind doing what it's supposed to do and your body doing what it's supposed to do, then you're able to be the you that you need to support your business and propel it forward.
That's amazing. Well, Terri, thank you again for being here.